Hello guys, this is Gilberto and today I'll be sharing HelloTalk with you. I'd like to give you a heads up on two things. First, explain why I have here my my cell phone mirrored to my computer. The reason why for that is because HelloTalk is not fully developed for a web browser, is fully developed for iPads or cell phones. So this is the first characteristic that I'd like to share with you because it's interesting. I think like apps are going like some apps are going more like user friendliness for cell phones and less on browsers for computers. Maybe because people are trying to find time to learn languages on their cell phones, like while like on a going to work or on a trip, and less on the computer screen. So that can be actually just an aspect or a negative aspect because some people might prefer to have like a full screen on the computer so they can have better visibility and a different type of access, at least as an option. So it can either be a neutral or a negative aspect of HelloTalk. The second thing is that I would like to share are the criteria that I took from Hubbard 2019. I didn't take all of them, but I focused on four of them: language learning potential, teacher fit, learner fit, authenticity, and cost, which is not there, but I think it has to do with accessibility. So it kind of makes sense to evaluate that too. So language learning potential is basically, does the courseware offer opportunity to focus on form? And by form, I mean either lexis or syntax or phonology of the language. Teacher fit, is the courseware fit to the teacher's teaching approach? Whether the approach is like communicative approach, genre approach, or focus on grammar. Learner fit, is the courseware fit to the student's goals, needs, and gaps? Finally, authenticity. Do the learning activities find correspondence to the target language out of the classroom? So I took all these definitions from Blinn 2016 and Hobart 2019, which is the first reading we did in the first week of class. So let's get started. So I'll be showing to you here me, learn, and moments. Starting on me, this is similar to what we saw on Tandem, right? Because the goal of both Tandem, which I understood to be the goal of Tandem, and HelloTalk are to be a platform, to serve as a social media where people can exchange language experience. And here you see like my picture and profile. Here you see my following, which resembles Twitter. And here are your learning points. So depending on how much you're learning and helping others learn, this will increase. And tools, and you have translate, autocorrect, favorites, notepad, and records, which I will show you here on moment. So if you scroll up and down, you'll see that this looks like pretty much like a Facebook timeline, which they call moments here. You can see, for example, Sammy up here, he knows French, English, and Spanish, and he's learning Portuguese, Turkish, and Italian. And probably the reason why HelloTalk matched me with Sammy is because when I created my account, I said that I wanted to learn French and Spanish, and that I know Portuguese, which is my first language. And you see here that it looks like authentic in a way that people post things that they would post on a real social media like Facebook, like memes in the language, or they would wish like happy Valentine's. And so it works pretty much as a social media. One thing that I would like to show you here, this is a great example. So Manuzinho knows French, and he wants to learn Portuguese. So he posted something in Portuguese about Valentine's. So let's suppose I want to help Manuzinho with the grammar or vocabulary here. So the way I can help him is by clicking here and go on autocorrection. If there is anything that I would like to help him with, I just click on the little pencil and just correct some words and add other words. And the way it's going to show is pretty much like that. So like Wigna, I don't know how to say her name, helped Manuzinho. And what she did was she corrected some preposition, some vocabulary. And when she did that, the app crossed out those words that were deleted. And down here in green, you see the words that she substituted, and those are the correct words. So that's how people can help each other. So this is Manuzinho wanting to learn English. But there are other people here, like he knows French and he wants to learn Portuguese, but he posted something in French. So if I want to understand what he said here, I can use the translate and I can comment. If it is a non-alphabetic language, I can use the transliteration that I will show you in a little bit. Here I can use a translate tool. If I don't know how to say anything like in French, I can also send a voice message. So that's what I mean by transliteration. So of course, transliteration is not available for French because it is an alphabetic language. But if it were Chinese, for example, it would be transliterated into the alphabetic language, like an alphabetic language. Some people here, one extra thing I'd like to show is you have a lot of tabs up here to show voice. Some people want to focus on pronunciation, like David. He posted something. I'm not sure what language. I don't want to click on here because I don't know if this is going to mess up with my audio. But let's suppose he posted something in Portuguese and I listened to it and I want to help him with some pronunciation, some vocabulary mistake that he made. I would just click here and help him. So maybe he posted that in English because he's getting feedback in English. Finally, learn. This is what I consider the most underdeveloped part of the app because it doesn't seem to be the focus of the app to teach languages, but I've seen this more recently. So if I go to French, I have to pay more here. Let's suppose I want this. If I click here on trial, yes, I would have to pay $119 or $9.99 a month, which is kind of pricey. It's fair, but pricey because you have to pay for the app plus the course. Let's see if they offer any sample lesson. So if I click here, you will see down here that the whole lesson, I'm sorry, you cannot listen to it because of the way I connected my computer to my cell phone. But basically, you have here a podcast style of a conversation between two people or a situation. And here you have dialogue, the vocabulary, and the sentences. And all of them has the target language and the translation, and also some explanation. The explanation is pretty much breaking down everything, and also play only the sentence to break down only how to say that sentence. And also you see here the organization by using the Common European Framework. Well, this is all I'm going to show to you so I don't go over the time that we have for this video. Let me go back here. To summarize how I evaluated this app is, what are the language learning potential? I think there is potential to focus on form, via users' feedback, because I can offer and receive feedback on vocabulary, on grammar, on also my on the phonology of the language. Is it teacher fit or not? I think it is teacher fit if it is based on communicative, if the teacher has a communicative teaching approach. So if the teacher is focused on communication, I think that is a great way to, uh, using this app is a great way to stimulate the student to use the language. If the teacher has a more grammar focus, I would suggest that the teacher would ask everyone in the class to create an account in the app and use the free version, and then the teacher would assign specific activities for the students to practice among themselves. That way it would make sense. But if the learner is just practicing with somebody outside of the classroom, the teacher would have less control, and it would be less teacher fit. That's how I understood the criteria teacher fit. Learner fit. I think it is fit to learner whose goals are to practice speaking and want to build fluency and also a learning community outside of the classroom. So developing more autonomy and motivation. So it is. So if the goal of the student is to focus on communication, that be amazing. However, if the student has gaps in needs on a specific grammar or pronunciation aspect of the language, I think it works too that way. But the learner would have to be motivated to ask for help and post things on moments here that are related to his or her questions on the language. Authenticity. Uh, that's a really hard aspect to evaluate, but I would say that if we consider this a social media, right, it is authentic to this context. So compared to a Facebook feed, I think it makes sense to evaluate it as pretty authentic, because people do post stuff here that you would find on a real social media, except for the feedback received or given, because you usually don't ask for language help on social media. That would be out of context, and people wouldn't correct you unless it is like a Facebook group that has this goal. But to the extent of people sharing like their personal life, that makes sense to consider it authentic. Finally, cost, as I said, just to use the app full functionality, I mean, the limited functionalities is free. So I think it is cost effective to the student. If the student wants to use full functionality, he or she would have to pay, I'm sorry, um, to pay $6.99 per month or $45.99 per year, which is a little bit pricey, because if you consider that you also have to pay $119 to learn French, for example, that would be a little bit expensive, especially if the person is not paying in dollar. That could, for example, in Brazilian currency, that would be a lot of money for a student. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. I hope you liked this review, and I hope you can give it a try on HelloTalk. It's a great app. I recommend trying at least the free version. So meet you guys in class.